Who do you predict will be the number one draft pick in 2025 MLC draft? The franchises have announced their retain and release players list ahead of 2025 draft, scheduled on February 19th. The 6 teams have made strategic roster adjustments, leading to several high-profile international players entering pool. Defending champions Washington Freedom retained 15 players, the highest among all teams, but opted to release Travis Head, who was their joint highest run scorer last season. It seems like a head-scratcher move, being the second highest run scorer.
Yeah.
He may be scooped up right away with somebody like a Seattle Orcas. It's a big opportunity for Orcas, who let go of a big chunk of their domestic roster. So I'm going to start with, let's say, Seattle Orcas. Seattle Orcas have retained Harmeet Singh, Cameron Gannon, Ali Sheikh, Ayan Desai, Aaron Jones, Heinrich Clausen, Ryan Rickleton, Lungi Ngidi, Nandre Berger, Zaman Khan. This is the list of retained players from Seattle Orcas. And released players: Ahmad Azam, Noman Anwar, Shubman Ranjane, Ahmad Wasim, Kimo Paul, Michael Bracewell, and Quinton DeCock was the big release from the Seattle Orcas. So they're totally in a rebuilding mode.
I want to go challenge you on totally rebuild. Like, that's the lineup that you mentioned at the start. They retained. It's basically their starting 11. They really so they lost to Cox. They lost an opener. They had Rickleton. I'm not even sure who opened with him last year. Oh, sorry. DeCock opened with him. So losing him, I don't think is a huge, like, if you can lose him and find another opener, that's fine. Because, then you have Gleason coming in, you have Jones there to bat. You still kept Harmeet Singh there. And then you have your bowlers. You have Gannon, Berger, and you have Zaman. Your bowling's locked down. I think maybe another spinner potentially could be needed, and then an opener.
So Seattle Orcas, with the core that they have, and they're going with $180,000 of, buying power into the MLC draft, the domestic draft. They have $180K sitting around for them to, bring on some local talent that can boost this 11, 12 players that they've retained. Buying power wise, they're going into the draft with the most buying power, as, Smith Patel reported. Smith Patel reported that teams like Washington Freedom, Los Angeles Knight Riders, and San Francisco Unicorns are unlikely to make significant moves in the draft, with only 15,000 USD, 10,000 USD, and 10,000 USD respectively remaining from their USD $320,000 domestic purse. So they don't have any budget left, these 3 teams, but the draft promises to be a high stakes affair for Mumbai Indians, New York, Texas Super Kings, and Seattle Orcas as they look to rebuild after shedding nearly half of their domestic squads. They enter the draft with remaining purses of USD 160, USD 100, and USD 180K respectively. So Mumbai Indians, New York, Texan Super Kings, and Seattle Orcas really will be the ones fighting out in this domestic draft with a big buying power. Let's go to Texas Super Kings next. Texas Super Kings retained Joshua Trump, Calvin Savage, Milan Kumar, Mohammad Mohsin, Ziaul Haq, Sai Teja Mukamala, Fav Duplessis, Devin Conway, Noor Ahmed, and Marcus Stoinis. These are the retained players from Texas Super Kings. Released players: Aaron Hardy, Aiden Markram, Dwayne Bravo, Mitchell Santner, Raj Nanan, Zia Shahzad, Naveen ul-Haq, Otniel Bart. This is the released player list, and I think Markram and Santner are probably, and Hardy, Aaron Hardy as well, probably 3 players from this released players list that can, potentially make an impact for other teams.
Don't buy Markram. No one buy Markram. Don't buy Markram. Don't.
He's a talented player, man. For the value that he comes in, I think it's worth buying.
I think he's just not in form, though. It's just one of those things, like, you can be a talented player, but you're not scoring runs. He just hasn't scored runs in a year. Like, he struggled in the World Cup. He's struggled in his own series at home against Afghanistan. He's struggled. He's just struggling for runs. I think that looks good. That's a good shed. I think that's a good shed.
I'm surprised with Mitchell Santner, though, man. Mitchell Santner is world class. Texas Super Kings letting him go, I think it's, again, a head scratcher, like, Washington Freedom's letting go Travis Head.
They're liking him in the chat. They're saying Santner is good with the ball, good with the bat. I
don't
know.
Maybe
it's a money thing. Maybe they needed to free up some coin. I'm sure Stoinis is costing him a lot of coins.
And even Duplessis and Devin Conway.
They're probably in a similar boat. They probably need another opener, and they need some pace bowlers.
They're actually lacking fast bowlers. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Fast bowlers. So I don't know who's up for sale. I mean, let's go see around the grounds. Let's go see if we can find him a pace bowler.
Let's go to LA Knight Riders. LA Knight Riders retained player list: Ali Khan, Aditya Ganesh, Unmuk Chand, Nitish Kumar, Korna Dry, Save Butter, Shadley Van Shelkwick, Matthew Trump, Spencer Johnson, Andre Russell, and Sunil Narayan. These are the retained player lists. Now, released players from LA Knight Riders: David Miller, Jason Roy, Shakib Al Hassan, Adam Zampa, Alex Carey, Daron Davis, Josh Little, and Waqar Salam Kid.
A couple things with that. Straight off the bat, we can know that, I think you said Alex Carey and Zampa, I don't think even played a game for them last year. So that's totally fine. And they didn't play.
I think there's some good value here again. I think Alex Carey is good value if you can get him for cheap. I think Jason Roy is great value if you can get him from cheap. I think these guys want to have big breakout seasons, right? And finding like diamonds in a rough that you can get for cheap that maybe had a couple of bad seasons and you know that they can come have a monster season. It's guys like, you know, Jason Roy or even David Miller. You know, even though I'm never a fan of David Miller, but he can come through in a clutch situation at times. But Jason Roy and Alex Carey and Adam Zampa, good, and maybe stay away from Shakib Al Hassan, you know? So
yeah, I mean, like if you think about it, like I think we mentioned, Orcas need a spinner and they need a opening bat. So if they took Travis Head and Zampa and their 2 picks, that's pretty solid. But I think they need, trying to crunch the numbers in my head, they need 2 internationals and they need 3 domestic players. I think that's the crunching the numbers in my head. I'm thinking they need. So they're only, I think they're only allowed 2 more internationals. So at this point, I'm thinking Orcas take Zampa and Head. They take a spinner and they take a batter, opening batter. And then we got to find Texas. They got to find them some pace.
Looking at LA Knight Riders, right? LA Knight Riders, let's see where they ended last year on the table, right?
Bottom.
LA Knight Riders, I believe, was second last or last. Second last. They only won. Yeah, they only won 2 games last year. So they ended at number 5. Means that they will probably get the second draft pick, second overall pick in the draft. Right. And Seattle Orcas, who ended 6th, who only won 1 game last year, 1 match last year, they probably will get the first overall pick. Now let's go to, we just did LA Knight Riders, Mumbai Indians, New York, MI New York, retained player list: Ehsan Adil, Noshdush Kenjige, Monang Patel, Heath Richards, Rushil Garkar, Sunny Patel, Kyron Pollard, Nicholas Puran, Rashid Khan, Trent Bolt. Released player list: Devil Brewis, Stephen Taylor, Tim David, Romario Shepard, Ruben Clinton, Cheyenne Jahangir, Heinrich Norche, and Kagiso Rabada. So Rabada and Norche both were released by Mumbai Indians, New York.
Another caveat there, both of those players didn't play last year. But yeah, being up for grabs, that's awesome. So you'd almost think if Rabada is available to play, if Norche is available to play, Super Kings probably a good big time for them to go there. Officers to see already there. If Kings right now, they're going to become the new South Africa. They would pick the cock and they would pick both of the pace bowlers and then they're set. That's their pace lineup and that's their opening 2 batters. That would be solid. The Quinton Cock and Flop Diversity open the batting and then Rabada and Norche bowling.
Mumbai's going in with some money, right? So Mumbai is going in with 160K. So Mumbai has some options to see and pick. So they will be spending some money, and it's possible they get a Kagiso Rabada back or Norche back, and you know they may redraft them again. You know, they may be just looking at it. Hey, you know, let's check out our options, and we still may get an opportunity to land some of these guys, or maybe somebody back. So they may be just playing and taking that risk with the draft, I think. But I think again, Norche and Rabada, big value, man, and even Stephen Taylor. I think Stephen Taylor is a low buy, high reward. You know, he's somebody that you would probably want to have on your team if he's a low buy because he can win you matches. He's a match. Same thing with a guy like Cheyenne Jahangir, who, you know, hit that ODI 100 in the last ODI that he played and then hasn't played since due to visa issues. And so I think, again, he's an informed guy, another low buy, high value type of a target that it could be this season, you know, looking at Mumbai Indians in New York. Now let's move to San Francisco Unicorns. This is the list of retained players: Corey Anderson, Hassan Khan, Liam Plunkett, Carmile Rue, Brody Couch, Karima Gore, USA Stars from the past, plays domestic in the West Indies. Check out his interview on the Reverse Scoop. We had a chat with him a while back. His interview's there, so check that out. John Wade Drysdale plays in the New York National League, where New Milford Cricket Club will be playing this coming season. Sanjay Krishnamurti, Haris Rao, Finn Allen, Jake Fraser-McGurk, and Matthew Short is the list of retained players for San Francisco Unicorn. The list of released players: Sherfane Rutherford, Tajinder Singh, Wian Mulder, Jamar Hamilton, Josh English, Abrar Ahmed, Matt Henry, Pat Cummins. there's some talent here too, man. Josh Inglis, Abrar Ahmed, I think is a good buy. Matt Henry, Pat Cummins, Sherfane Rutherford, and even Vion Mulder. I think there's some good value here, man, in the players released by San Francisco Unicorn.
Clearly maybe the best bowler on release right now would be Cummins. I think an extra Rabada. I know Cummins only played half of the season last year. I don't know if that was because of touring issues or he was playing with Australia or if he just couldn't make it, whatever. But he only played half the season last year. Corey Anderson's a great captain for them. That's a great squad. I mean, they kept Liam Plunkett. He's great with the ball. Obviously, a veteran of the game. Really good there. I think they have a pretty good fast bowling attack. They said they have two other fast bowlers. They got the Pakistan bowler. What would they need? If we looked at their lineup, Fraser McGurk right now is this big yo-yo question mark over him. He scores a lot of runs and he hasn't scored any runs. And I know he can really tee off, but releasing Josh Inglis, that's a great pick for someone. They can pick him up. He's great with the bat. I feel like him and Carey, they could get picked up and really help a team.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think it's a good core, of players here. Washington Freedom is the last one that's left. So Washington Freedom, list of retained players: Andres Gauss, Mukhtar Ahmed, Obis Pinar, Saurabh Netravalkar, Ian Holland, Amila Aponzo, Justin Dill, Lahiru Milanta, Yasser Mohammed, Marco Jensen, Glenn Maxwell, Locke Ferguson, Rachin Ravindra, Stephen Smith, and Jack Edwards. And the released players: Travis Head, Akil Hussain, Akhilesh Reddy, Andrew Tai, and Jasdeep Singh. So Jesse Singh being released as well out of the Washington Freedom.
Did you mention Maxwell? He must have been retained, right?
Maxwell is retained, yes. Glenn Maxwell, Lockie Ferguson, Rachin Ravindra, Steve Smith. This is a packed lineup, man. Andres Gauss, Saurabh Netravalkar, Ian Holland, Marco Jensen. It's a solid squad, man. I like this team.
So they're losing a top order batter, but I mean, even if they lose Head, they still have Gauss, Smith, and Max. That could still be their top three, technically. Yeah. So they may want another opener to replace him. Maybe they take Taylor. Their pace bowlers have Netravalkar, obviously one of the best, and he took the most wickets last year.
And we've gone over most of the retained players and the released players from all franchises. We'll do a list next week of, all the squads with the players that were drafted into the teams and, what the lineups will potentially look like.